Thank you once again for making Locked On Cougars your first listen of the day. Hope you all are doing great out there. If you've not done so already, join the Locked On Cougars Insider Group and get the inside scoop on all things BYU sports. Coming to your phone in the form of a text message. The best part is you get a 14-day free trial to see if it's the right option for you, and it's just $5 a month after that to be a part of the Insider Group. What do you got to lose? Join us today. Find out if it's right for you. Over the 2 weeks, you get free before you charge a single penny. Link is in the show notes below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, and look forward to seeing you out there in the Locked On Cougars Insider Group. All right, before we go on today's show, let's talk about an interesting piece from CBS Sports, and this comes from the author, I had this earlier, Isaac Trotter, who covers college basketball for CBS Sports. He wrote a piece about the best fits from the college basketball transfer portal, and it includes how BYU fixed a major flaw. Now, the number 3 question, he says, why Robert Wright is BYU's problem-solving PG1? He says this, inside the fit, BYU needed a paint-touch guard, and boy, did it cash the chips in for one of the best in the country. Nearly half of Rob Wright's thirds last year came at the rim. The shifty, twitchy point guard could shine in this NBA-style offense. He has mastered the art of playing alongside a superstar, so sliding into that secondary role to the high-stepping AJ DeBonsa, and I'll also insert here, because he didn't put it in here, Richie Saunders, should be smooth. He adds this, Wright won't have to create a good look for BYU in every possession, but when it's time for Wright to take over as the pick-and-roll conductor, BYU's orchestra will have every instrument he needs to be successful. BYU's catch-and-shoot assassins should be looming in the corner, and Dawson Baker, Richie Saunders here, Mihailo Boskovic. We talked a little bit earlier. I think a guy like Brody Kozlowski is going to thrive in this role as well. That would obviously be looking forward to those open opportunities. Also adds this. It has multiple lob threats too, right? We'll just have to toss in the general vicinity of the backcourt, and one of Keba Keita or Xavion Staten will be ready to flush it down. DeBonsa will be looming somewhere as well, just itching to attack the long closeouts Wright will generate. This has a chance to be an extremely profitable union because BYU can cover up some of Wright's weaknesses and maximize his strengths, unquote. Sorry, Baylor fans. That seems pretty tailor-made for what BYU is looking for, and I agree with what Mr. Trotter is saying here. BYU did need a guard who could be the conductor and could slow things down, but also at times be able to take it over. And yes, we saw Jaeger Demon do that. But Jaeger Demon's dad went on, I don't remember what it was, and essentially said that Jaeger wasn't really able to develop his game because BYU is in a winning situation. And I think that comes off as critical of Kevin Young and BYU. I don't think it was intended as such. It was a simple statement of fact. Jaeger Demon's game in the NBA is going to be completely different than it was asked to do in Kevin Young's system at BYU. And you may say, well, hold on. It's an NBA-style offense, Jake. Jaeger Demon needs a lot of development. Obviously, he needs to hone his shot. He's one of the best passers in the world for his age. That's no doubt about it. But he will be a very different player, but I think ultimately a more successful player in the NBA than he was in college because his style of game is more fit for the professional model. Robert Wright III, he's by basketball standards, he's diminutive. And I use that term and people get upset, but he's 6'1". He's not 6'9" like Jaeger Demon. But what Robert Wright III has in spades is a fearlessness. I call it the fight that he's got in him. You know, that whole adage, the size of the dog in the fight is not as important as the size of the fight in the dog. I think I butchered that, but regardless, you get what I'm talking about. He's got that in spades. He is unafraid of going to the rim, despite being relatively pint-sized as compared to some of the 7-footers there that are lurking at the rim, trying to swat the ball, get it out of his hands, and create a break the other way. The nice part is his ability to get to the rim will draw the defense, and all he's got to do, kick it out. Get it out to the guys in the wings. Kevin Young's offense is tailor-made for what Robert Wright III, as Mr. Trotter writes here, is very capable of doing. I don't mean this to sound bad, but Robert Wright III is going to be a far, far better college basketball player than Jaeger Demon will or was or would ever be for BYU. Once again, that may sound critical, but I'm telling you, Robert Wright III, his game is more fit for the college model than Jaeger Demon's was. I'm not saying that Robert Wright III is not going to have potential to play at the NBA level. In fact, I think playing in an NBA-esque system like this will highlight more to NBA scouts of how he overcomes the fact that they will obviously be marking down that he is just, in their minds, maybe too small to play at the NBA level. Smaller guards are having a tougher and tougher time thriving in the NBA. It's not impossible. We are seeing Jalen Brunson. We're seeing Kyrie Irving. We are seeing some really, really effective guards. Mike Conley has lasted so long despite being a very short and slender guy. Robert Wright III's got a pattern in his game after these guys, and having guys alongside him who can highlight his skills and, as Trotter says, maybe mask some of his deficiencies, particularly, I think, on the defensive end because he's not the biggest guy out there. This is it's an ideal fit for BYU to have Robert Wright in the system. Kevin Young has got to be absolutely ecstatic to have him playing for the BYU Cougars. Yes, it may have cost him somewhere between $2 and $3 million. But we're hearing from these boosters that BYU, the quote, won't be outbid. BYU is in the mix and they are making a major impression, but it's not just the money. Let me reiterate. The money is not it's obviously a deciding factor, I think, because let's be honest, any of us would go for that amount of money I'm talking as a podcaster here. You offered me $2 million to go podcast for another company. Yeah, I'd probably take you up on it. Reality is I'm never going to get that type of money podcasting, but the bigger point remains is that Robert Wright III appears to be just an absolutely ideal fit in this BYU system. Kevin Young is going to be drawing up all kinds of new ways to attack defenses. And Robert Wright III, he is unbothered by the more physical nature that college basketball allows teams to play with. That was one of the things that Jaeger Demon struggled with, was the fact that guys could put hands on him. They will not be able to do that in the NBA. That is why I think Jaeger Demon is going to thrive at the professional level, whereas a guy like Robert Wright III, what he has is an ability to overcome the physical and the just downright ugly style of basketball at times that college basketball can throw at you. So I look forward to seeing how Robert Wright does in the system, but I think Baylor fans, cry your eyes out. But Robert Wright III is stepping into an absolutely electric and just tailor-made fit for his skill set. And I, for one, I cannot wait to see it all unfold with the BYU basketball program this fall. I never, trust me, you guys know I'm a college basketball guy who are everydayers out there. I never want to wish away a football season or the summer, quite frankly, but I'm telling you, I am as ecstatic and eager to get to the next BYU basketball season to see what this team looks like under Kevin Young's direction. Really, I'm telling you, the hype that I have, the hype I feel for this team, I cannot wait to see it go out there. And the best part is, roster isn't even fully constructed. What else can Kevin Young bring in? Sure feels like he's got time and resources out there to bring in some really, really nice pieces to hopefully bolster this BYU basketball team and help them take yet another step. They made the Sweet 16 this past year, Elite Eight, Final Four. That's all out there on the horizon for BYU. Just how far can they go? It feels like the sky is the limit for BYU basketball, and that should be exciting to you as a Cougar fan. All right, that'll do it. I think I got everything out there that I wanted to. But coming up later on this week, we are going to do a crossover edition with JT Wistersill from Locked On Utes. Wonder what we could be talking about there. Should be a lot of fun. Well, obviously, the Big 12 squad is coming up tomorrow as well. But as always, thank you for all of your guys' support here on the podcast. It absolutely means the world to me. Continue to subscribe, rate, review, share with your family and friends, and make sure you join us literally every single day, as we like to call you guys, our everydayers, right here on the Locked On Cougars podcast.